Hey everybody, it's episode 2 of season 3 of the Twilight Zone. Last time out, we did an episode of, speaking of twos, it was called 2. There were 2 people, and they were exploring the ruins of an ancient city, ravaged by war. And they were on opposite sides of this battle, and then they come across each other, and stuff goes down. Shit hits the fan. Knives get drawn. They have laser guns. It's a whole thing. Go watch it. This episode's called The Arrival. Now, at the end of the last episode, I was trying to conjecture what the arrival could be, and I started naming any number of things that could arrive. Literally anything could arrive. An elephant could arrive on your doorstep inside your house. Especially if you got a dictaphone thing. Anyway, let's see what's arriving. See if anything is departing. You know, it's the Twilight Zone. An arrival could be, it's just a departure of a different sort, you know, in the opposite direction. Oh, it's the... Oh, it's a plane. Is it a special plane? Why are you standing there?
Now, most airplanes take off and land as per schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yesterday morning, this particular airplane ceased to be just a commercial carrier. We're going to give you 90% of the jigsaw pieces.
Okay.
You and Mr. Sheckley here will assume the problem of putting them together.
It's a puzzle. We're going to be helping Mr. Sheckley put it together. Did it go through a time cloud? Does it only arrive and never departs? What's the deal? Here it comes. Where did it come from? Who's on it? Oh, maybe it's empty. How did it land? I'll shut up. No? Yeah? Mystery solved. It's just a normal plane just landed. He's like, nothing mysterious here. Stop. Yeah, obeying my commands. Hey, anybody up there? It's the damnedest thing. Nobody was flying the plane. Alright, everybody out.
Let's go in there.
Come on, don't have all day.
Need a can opener?
It's a ghost plane. Hey, Captain, you know you flew a plane with no passenger... Captain?
Hey, George, what's going on here? There isn't any luggage.
There's no passengers.
You better come in here and check me out.
I think I've gone crazy.
Come here.
How did she land?
Hope he lets me finish the story before he has me committed.
Maybe the pilot jumped out the window at the other side of the plane. Just pranking them. It's a practical joke.
There was nobody on the plane.
Jumped out mid-flight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you knock it off, please? This is Mr. Sheckley from the Federal Aviation Agency. I'd appreciate hearing from you only facts.
Okay, I wasn't there. Can I go?
Which one of you is Cousins?
Right here, sir.
Did you notice anything abnormal?
No, sir. She came in right on the button. She followed my signal up the ramp.
Yeah.
She cut her engines when I gave her the signal.
Did you see the pilots?
Nope.
Is your dispatcher here from Buffalo?
Sir, that's me, sir. I just arrived.
He's got a very interesting look to him.
Pilot William J. Slocum?
Yes, sir.
Did you see them board the aircraft?
No, not exactly.
Not personally.
Sir. I saw them leave the dispatch office and head for the field.
They didn't walk them onto the plane.
J. Slocum, John O'Brien. The best men.
I'm not casting any stones, Mr. Bankston, but the names are so familiar.
What do you mean?
But that'll be all now.
What did he mean by familiar? I want to hear those names again. I wasn't paying attention.
I got 22 years in this saddle, and I've never been licked yet. Oh, some of them take a long time.
He's the Sherlock Holmes of airplane mysteries.
But it's always something, and that something always shows up.
An aircraft can't take off with a full crew and land an hour and 20 minutes later with nobody on it.
But the fact is, it happened. It can't have happened.
We just got to figure it out.
There's only one possible explanation. 13 people had parachutes. Now, they kept
Okay,
them in the
they
back
jumped
of
out.
the park gag or something, I guess.
Yeah, gag.
And what about the pilots?
Snuck
Maybe
out.
they hid in the restroom. Sneaked out of the plane after I went to make a phone call.
See?
I'll tell you this, though. I get spooked just standing around here. I get more spooked inside, though.
Oh,
All those empty...
ghosts. They have the right idea, thinking about how it could possibly have happened.
Have you checked out every one of the names on his passenger manifest?
That's all I need now is to have a small army of
Aren't they?
relatives from upstate.
Are they real people?
You mean to say you haven't even had one inquiry yet?
Yeah. That's a clue.
weird, isn't it?
But the ship arrived only 6 hours ago. Maybe they haven't had time to miss anyone.
I don't think so.
There goes that old feeling again.
These names.
Passenger, manifest.
They seem so familiar.
The names look so familiar.
What else looks familiar, dude?
You looked inside the plane and you saw the blue seats.
Yeah?
Yeah, I said something like that.
But when I first looked in the plane, the seats were brown.
Wait a minute.
What?
They were red. But they were red.
What is all this nonsense?
Well, now I'm confused. Is that number the same?
Come here.
About, of course, I see a number.
Yeah, it's
Read it off to me.
N664. Whoa, it changed.
67588.
They're all seeing something different.
And 804758.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Then we're all seeing different numbers.
And different colors.
Gentlemen, I have a theory. Unfortunately, the only way I can prove it or disprove it is going to put me in considerable jeopardy.
Are we all in a dream?
A kind of hypnosis. I don't think this aeroplane is really here.
Okay, are we here?
Someone somewhere told us that a DC-3 is inside this hangar. So every one of us had pictured in his mind
We
a
just
DC-3
imagined
as he
it.
knows one.
I'm banging my head against it now.
Until another sees him as red.
Am I bleeding?
This particular aircraft
Doesn't
doesn't
exist. But that means I could walk through it, right?
And it's here. I can feel it. It's here.
I'm going to prove to you that you're wrong.
Okay.
And if I happen to be wrong, I also happen to be dead.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Can we all agree on the type of plane it is? I see a submarine. Get out of here. Crazy.
Start the engines.
Okay.
This plane is imaginary, then so are those engines.
Okay.
And so are those props. So if I stick my hand in them, nothing is going to happen.
Why would you do that? Use a broom or something.
Make sure you notify my wife. Good.
Sheckley, you madman. There's a million different ways to do this that just don't involve you losing a limb. It was just a gag. It's the changing serial number seat color gag. The classic. Dude, you put your tie in or something. Don't do it. What are you doing, you crazy madman? Oh, it just disappeared. Well, let's solve the mystery.
I believe I've proven my point.
What the hell? Oh, any of you exist? Is he just in a lab somewhere? Does he have diodes on his head? Is he on an alien spaceship?
Bankston?
Robbins!
You can't believe anything you see now.
Hey, Bankston! Where are you? What happened?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Who are you? Aren't you Sheckley?
Aren't you? You're Sheckley, aren't you?
Yeah.
What kind of a gag is
Oh,
this?
that's a practical joke.
1 minute there's a hangar full of men in an aircraft, the next minute I prove that not only does an aircraft exist, but...
I'm just gonna make a phone call. You know Sheckley? He gone crazy.
Mr. Sheckley, are you drunk?
That's
Are you
it.
sick or what?
Too much rum. What's the paper say?
Shown here arriving on Trans-East Airline Flight 107.
That's the one. Yeah.
Who is this guy?
It's Sheckley. Don't you know Sheckley?
Taking that picture.
What is so odd about a picture of a flight arrival?
What's so what? Didn't that flight arrive with nobody on it? No
What?
crew, no stewardess.
Just a dream you had.
No, Mr. Sheckley.
Sir, we're not missing any Flight 107 or any other flight.
How could that be?
Dude, you're the one who...
That's right, you were the examiner on that one. We lost just one flight.
I need to talk about
Some
this
20 odd
later.
years, just one. Flight 107. That was some 17 or 18 years ago.
Well, what happened to her?
Lost in the fog.
Ooh.
Never found.
Time fog.
Mr. Sheckley here investigated. But that was one case you were never able to button up.
Been haunting you. Haunting you ever since. That's why he remembers all the names.
Why don't you let me drive you home?
Careful, your home mightn't exist.
Well, I've never been licked on the case yet. Never.
Well, you were at that one.
We've always found the causes. Always found the causes.
I'll just drive you home, dude. Could you take a sedative or something before we go?
Always found the causes.
He's cracked under the pressure. 17 years.
Flight 107. What went wrong? Flight 107. Why didn't you leave a clue? Why didn't you?
Sometimes these things just happen, you know?
Why didn't you ever tell anyone what happened to you?
Come on, dude. You've been doing this for decades. Only lost that one plane.
Picture of a man with an Achilles heel. Now, that's the clinical answer that they put on the tag as they take him away. But if you choose to think that the explanation...
So, that was The Arrival. I liked the first half of that. I liked the first 2/3 of that episode, and the final third was just kind of filler. They kind of padded it out a bit. And what I wanted to talk about near the end was that this is the guy, Sheckley, who figured out, somehow, that the plane that everybody had seen, the mystery surrounding it, all of that, he'd heard all the, the solutions that were based in common sense reality. Maybe they all jumped out. Maybe the pilot hid and then he ducked out when we weren't looking. All these things are natural explanations. But he goes fourth dimension on everybody. He's like, you know what this is? Read off that serial number, and they all say something different. He's like, it's just a mass delusion. This plane doesn't exist at all. I'm going to prove it to you. And they're all like, we see the plane. Look, it's right here. I can touch it. He's like, touch it? Watch this. Puts his hand into the propeller blade. The whole thing just disappears. He was right. Didn't exist. He had figured it out because he's so smart. And then the other people disappeared, and suddenly he turns into the world's stupidest man. The guy who figured out that the plane that everybody could see didn't actually exist goes crazy. He goes to the guys in the control room or whatever, in the office. He's like, Don't you remember the plane? Like, come on, they disappeared in front of you. Of course they don't remember. Put it together. You just solved an impossible mystery, and you can't get your head around the fact that they disappeared and weren't part of the whole thing was just in your head. No. And then they tied it together, with it was based on an old case that he couldn't solve, and that's why he remembers all the names. It's why it was so familiar to him. So yeah, the end part was just kind of adding, but the initial part, the mystery element, I loved all that stuff. They could see different colors. That was great. And just the whole setup of the episode was really neat. I really liked it. Just the end was a bit meh. So the next one is called, damn it, Sheckley. It's all that drinking he was doing. They're going to put him in a asylum now or something. The next one is called The Shelter. Maybe they'll put him in a shelter. Maybe this is part 2. So 3 is The Shelter. We'll see that next time. And if a bus ever appears and there's nobody on it, it doesn't exist. Bus doesn't exist. Just start bashing your head against it. See if... Don't do that. Please don't do that. The driver will probably get out and punch you or something. You'll cause a scene. So I'll see you back here for episode 3, and have a good time until then.